If you want to use Slicer to actually use images, check this out. Alright, also rather than just doing slicers that have only text, we're going to incorporate a chiclet slicer into our visual so that we can have images as well. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do it from the ground up. So first thing you want to do though is incorporate your slicer. So what we're going to do is go to our app store here. We're going to click on get more visuals. And then once this pops up, we're going to type in chiclet, and it's going to be the first option here. So you can see it's actually going to be certified by Power BI with that check mark here. So we know it's a very good product, just like this one as well. But we're going to select it, and then it's going to automatically be added to our little app store that we have. And you'll see it just right here once it's loaded. But before we go any further, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to incorporate your custom images. So currently all my data is kind of housed in Teams, and I call it from the SharePoint backed site that's from Teams. And if I go into my company logos where all my data is, so first up I have all my company names. I have 5 different companies here. I got 5 regions, zones, and then the logo URL. Now there's different kinds of links that you can put in here for your logo URL so that you can actually visualize the custom image that you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this website right here, and we're going to download any image that we want. We're just going to type in company logos, for example. Now I'm going to pick a random one. I don't actually know what this is, so I'm just going to pick this one here. I'm going to click on download. You can download whatever image size you want. We're going to download it, and then we're going to save the image to our folder, wherever you want to save your data at. I like to just keep it personally in my downloads folder because then I'm just going to use it for the next step, and I could probably delete the image too. The next site you want to go to is this one right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our image, we're going to drop it in here. We're going to choose it wherever you had your document. We're going to load it. And then just like that, it's going to create a direct link for us. And now we can replace whatever we had in Teams in that Excel file with this exact image. So I'm going to copy the direct link here. We're going to copy that. And then I'm going to replace the 5th link. Make sure you're on the edit version of Excel. I'm just going to copy it here. You can leave the link or you can remove the link option. And then we're just going to leave that there. So that's going to be our image. And then we're going to close the Excel doc. We can leave this open if we want to. We're going to go back to Power BI, and we're going to simply refresh. And then once we refresh, we have our new icon right here. Now, this is the fastest, most efficient way to do it. There's other ways to do it as well, where you can take the link that's directly in the icon application that you download from. But I tend not to do that because if the application changes, the direct link to that URL changes, and now you have a different image, you're kind of out of luck, right? So you have to find that image again to where I can just download it instead and keep it and then have it called based upon the custom link that I kind of build out. But let's go ahead and delete this one, and we'll just build it from scratch. We're going to go ahead and click on Chiclet Slicer. We're going to maximize this. Now we can put it here, or we can put it on the side if we want to as well. For example, we can put it over here. We can expand it to where it's like a bar. But we're going to go back to how it was, and we want to expand our logos query that we have. And the first category, what we want is the company name. So we're going to put that in here. And then the next thing we want is under image, we're going to put the actual logo URL, and there we have it. So I'm going to customize it a little bit more. But before I go any further, one thing I forgot to mention is that when you're in table view, you want to make sure that this column here is actually the data category of image URL. Because if you don't, it's not going to provide you the image. All right, so once you do that, now we can customize it even further. So I'm going to minimize this just so you can see a little bit more. We're going to expand this out, maximize the visuals, general. Sometimes I go to general first just because it's kind of easier because I know I want to turn the background off completely. I don't like having it on just so it can blend in with my canvas that I have. You can also change these little icons here too if you want by changing these header icons. You can also change the orientation to be horizontal or vertical. We're just going to keep it horizontal. And it doesn't really matter because once you select all the columns and you just maximize it a little bit further, it doesn't matter which one you select because it's going to be oriented only when you change the dimension of this entire slicer. Then what we're going to do is increase the height a little bit. I turn the header off because I don't need it. You can also change the background, change the unselected color. And once you change the unselected color, then you actually get that color that we're talking about here. We're going to change the text color to white just so it stands out more. And things you want to consider too is this black icon here is probably not for the best simply because it's hard to see. So you might want to change the icon there. I like to change the height simply because I don't want to have to scroll down at all. All right, so we change the background color to match the canvas color, and then we change the background of the actual icons to be matching the charts here just so it blends a little bit more. And now as you hover over it and select it, it'll turn blue. You can also change that color if you want to, and then everything dynamically changes. Now keep in mind, you do want to build a relationship, so if you haven't done that as well, that's important because it won't filter down appropriately if you don't have a relationship built. But with that said, that's how you use a chiclet slicer. I think personally it's one of my favorites because it's easier to use and people like images rather than text all the time. You don't have to read too much. You just kind of know what icons are. But hopefully this video is able to help you out, and let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching.